Happy Monday, and we are starting off with jury selection this morning. We're trying to get a jury to finally sit and hear the case with the what we call a coroner case, but it's Megan Jackson. That thing has been continued 4 or 5 times. I think it was 4, but we have struggled. It's been really tough to get that finally brought to court, but it's not under anything that we could have done any better. We don't get to pick when it'll go. We just put it on the trial roster, and but hopefully this will end it. It's way overdue. So we'll be back next week to tell you what took place with that case. It's just the Megan Jackson case. Chris Dontel has already pled guilty. So this will wrap up that coroner case. Last week we were in court, and I told you in this video that we would come back and update you on that trial. That started Tuesday, and we were able to get a jury selected, try it Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and the jury came back Thursday with a guilty verdict. The defendant's name was Abdullah Safullah. The victim is David Demas. Here's the thing. We tell you all the time that if you are in Myrtle Beach or around and you're going back and forth to the Sky Wheel and laying out on the beach, maybe getting too sunburnt, you're safe. This case bucks that. This young man, David Demas, was a wonderful young fella, didn't play a part in this at all. He was a Coastal Carolina student. He had gone to that Planet Fitness at Carolina Forest. He had finished his workout but was waiting for his girlfriend and her brother to finish theirs so that they wouldn't have to walk out by themselves. Out in the parking lot stood Abdullah Safullah and Brandon Gutierrez, both from Connecticut. Now these two had gotten down here. Their car was giving them car trouble, and they decide, well, let's steal a car to get back to Connecticut with. So Brandon's driving. He's 43 years old, too old to be doing this tomfoolery. Abdullah Safullah is walking around. The idea is clearly that Abdullah is going to steal this car and take off behind him. Brandon is driving around in another vehicle. When David doesn't give up the keys to his car, Abdullah Safullah shoots him and kills him. And then Brandon Gutierrez takes off and drives away in his vehicle with Abdullah Safullah running after him. They finally meet back up at some nearby apartments and take off and try to get back to Connecticut. But in the meantime, a 22-year-old college student gets killed. There was quite a few comments on, whether we treated Brandon Gutierrez differently than Abdullah Safullah because of his color, because of this is a slap on the wrist and that's not. The truth is, there was one gun. And under the state law, you could we charged both of them with murder under the theory of hand of one, hand of all. But now knowing the rest of the facts, you see one guy was really down for the theft of a car. He wasn't down for murder. And Abdullah Safullah panicked or did whatever he did and shot and killed this young man. Clearly he is the murderer, and he was convicted for murder. Could we have prosecuted Brandon Gutierrez for murder? Probably, it would have been maybe 50-50 because he was there helping with the theft of the car. But he got 15 years, and he got 15 years on accessory after the fact, and that's probably what he did. He left the scene. He left the scene driving away in his vehicle. But because he didn't withdraw early enough, we maybe could have gotten him for murder. But 15 years is what he got on for his part in that. And the killer got life imprisonment without possibility of parole. And both of those guys are from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Or Brandon Gutierrez is from Trumbull, Connecticut, and Abdullah Safula is from, well, he's going to be a South Carolinian for the rest of his life, but he was from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And both of them, that was the trial last week, and we're thankful to get that out of the way. We also announced last week that Chance Benson, 20 years old, of Spartanburg, pled guilty to attempted murder, first-degree assault, and discharging of a firearm into an occupied vehicle. He got 10 years in prison. That was at the 2023 Country Music Fest. And Chance, along with several others, were up to no good, running around, gunplay, and Chance Benson got cornered in a parking garage by unmarked police officers, and he fired several times at the officers. None of the officers were hit by the gunfire. One of the officers had minor injuries because of, it could have been the glass from the vehicle shattering, or apparently a drink that was beside him was exploded by the bullet. And that, anyway, there was some shrapnel flying around, and that's, it could have been much, much worse. But Chance Benson pled guilty, and he got 10 years on those charges. That was at a plea, that was not at a trial. And finally, last week we announced, first of all, hats off to Horry County Police. They worked this shooting at Little River, where a boat, apparently a boat docks, and a speaker, it's very early in this process. We don't even have the case file yet. But a speaker turns over and hits some young lady on the head. That causes a ruckus, and gunplay is involved. One of the defendants is an adult, and one of the defendants is a juvenile. The juvenile, we announced that we're going to try as an adult. Now, in saying that, that's just nomenclature, that's stuff that we talk about or say. The real truth is this: we have to go down to family court and ask the judge to have a hearing. It's like a mini trial. And there's a Supreme Court case called Kent, K-E-N-T. And we have to go through the 7 Kent factors. And one of them is, how serious is this crime? What was the ability for someone else to have gotten hurt? Both of those are high and weigh in favor of the state. Another one is, how old is the juvenile? Is he close to being an adult? Is he not close to being an adult? That weighs in favor of the state. A lot of them, of the 7 Kent factors, weigh in favor of the state. But it is upon us to go down and have a mini trial to prove that to the judge. If the judge, the family court judge, agrees with us, then that judge will waive the defendant up and we will treat him as an adult. Presently speaking, if you are a juvenile that is 16, the worst you can do if you're not waived up as an adult is you can be incarcerated until your 21st birthday. So that by the time that case comes up, if say he's 18, the most he could pull on it's 2 years. And that happens a lot. And that is another Kemp factor where we're saying, Judge, there's not enough time to rehabilitate a juvenile in juvenile court or in DJJ. But there's 7 of those Kemp factors, and we have to prove those. Simply me saying that we're going to try, what would be more accurate is we're going to try to waive it up. We got to have a hearing, and a judge has got to agree with us, and the defense attorney and the defendant will play the other side, that he is, that they don't have as much of a record, or that he is influenced by other people, or whatever that is. That is to come out in a hearing. Real quick, last week, of course, our trial took the better part of the week. I will tell you that there were 15 cases on that trial roster. One of them was the trial itself. 7 of them pled. Another one is set to plea this week. So it was a very successful week of the trial. That is 8 out of the 15 that ended up pleading or to be pled, and then the other ones will make it to the next trial roster. Have a great week, and we'll see you again, update you on this coroner murder case that starts today.